Part 1. The Invitation. Captain Jake Morrison sat in his chair on the bridge of the UES Liberty. The ship was quiet today. Too quiet. They had been flying through empty space for 3 weeks now. No pirates. No enemy ships. Just stars and darkness. "Captain," said Lisa Rodriguez from her station. She was the ship's science officer. "We are getting a message. It's not human." Jake looked up. "What do you mean, not human?" "The signal is coming from outside our space. Way outside. And the language, it's not any Earth language I know." Pete Collins, the chief engineer, walked onto the bridge. He was a big man with rough hands. "Did someone say aliens?" he asked with a smile. Lisa nodded. "The computer is working on the translation now. Should have it in a few minutes." Jake stood up and walked to Lisa's station. On her screen, strange symbols moved and changed. Then, slowly, words in English appeared. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the message said. "We are the Galactic Harmony Council. We have watched your species for many years. You are ready now to join us in peace. We invite you to attend a meeting with all the peaceful races of the galaxy." The bridge went silent. Pete's mouth fell open. Lisa stared at her screen. Jake read the message 3 more times. "This is real?" Jake asked. "The signal is real," Lisa said. "It came from a point 40 light-years away. The technology to send it, we don't have anything like this." The message continued. "The meeting will be held at Kepler Station in the neutral zone. We have sent coordinates. Come with 1 ship only. Bring your best people for peace talks. We look forward to meeting you. Signed, Ambassador Zyxthala of the Valerian Empire." Jake touched his communication button. "Bridge to Admiral Blake on Earth. Priority 1 message." It took an hour for the message to reach Earth and for Admiral Blake to call back. Her face appeared on the main screen. She looked tired but excited. "Jake, this is the biggest thing to happen to humanity ever," she said. "I'm putting you in charge of this mission. Take the Liberty to this meeting." "Admiral, are we sure this is safe?" Jake asked. "We don't know anything about these aliens." "That's exactly why we need to go," Blake said. "This could change everything for us. But Jake, pick your team carefully. We need our best people." After the call ended, Jake sat in his ready room thinking. Who should he take to meet aliens? He needed smart people. Peaceful people. People who could make humanity look good. He called Lisa first. "Lisa, I want you to come to this meeting. You study life forms. These aliens will need someone who understands them." Lisa smiled. "I would love to come, Captain. This is what I became a scientist for." Next, he called Dr. Alex Turner from the science department. Alex was a doctor who studied how minds work. If anyone could understand alien thinking, it was him. "Alex, we're going to meet aliens. Real aliens. I need someone who can help us talk to them without making mistakes." Alex was so excited he could barely speak. "Captain, I've been waiting my whole life for this. What do we know about them?" "Not much," Jake said. "They say they're peaceful. They've been watching us. And they think we're ready to join them." Jake also picked Dr. Karen Walsh, the ship's doctor. If something went wrong, they would need medical help. And he kept Tony Martinez as security chief, but told him to keep his weapons hidden. The Liberty left Earth's orbit 3 days later. The crew was excited but nervous. They had never met aliens before. Nobody had. During the long trip to Kepler Station, Lisa and Alex studied everything they could find about possible alien life. They made lists of do's and don'ts. Don't touch them without asking. Don't make loud noises. Be polite. Smile, but not too much. What if they don't look like us? Lisa asked during one meeting. They probably won't, Alex said. Life on other worlds would be different. They might be bigger or smaller. They might have different colored skin. They might not even have skin. Pete, who was listening, made a face. As long as they're friendly, I don't care what they look like. 2 weeks into the trip, they got another message from the aliens. This one had a picture attached. It showed Ambassador HFY. The alien was beautiful in a strange way. She was tall and thin, with blue skin that seemed to glow softly. Her eyes were large and silver. She had no hair, but small jewels decorated her head. She wore flowing robes that moved like water. "She looks peaceful," Lisa said. "She looks fragile," Pete said. "Like she might break if you touched her wrong." Jake studied the picture. "Remember, everyone, we represent all of humanity at this meeting. We need to show them that humans are good people. That we want peace too." On the last day of their trip, they could see Kepler Station on their screens. It was the most beautiful thing any of them had ever seen. The station looked like it was made of crystal and light. It was huge, but it seemed to float in space like a soap bubble. "How does something like that even work?" Pete asked, staring at the station. "Very carefully, I think," Jake said. As they got closer, they could see other ships docked at the station. The alien ships were nothing like human ships. Human ships were built strong and thick, made to survive attacks and asteroids. These alien ships looked like works of art. Thin and graceful, with curves and colors that changed in the starlight. "Those ships are beautiful," Lisa said. "But they don't look very strong." "Maybe they don't need to be strong," Alex said. "Maybe they never fight wars." The thought made everyone quiet. Humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years. Even now, Earth's colonies sometimes fought with pirates or hostile aliens. But maybe these aliens had never learned to fight. "Attention UES Liberty," came a voice over their radio. It was soft and musical. "This is Kepler Station Control. Welcome to our meeting place. Please dock at Port 7. We are excited to meet you." Jake took control of the ship himself for docking. The Liberty was a good ship, but she was built for war. Her hull was thick metal painted gray. Her engines were big and powerful. Next to the alien ships, she looked like a tank in a garden. As they docked, Jake could see aliens watching from the station windows. They looked small and delicate. Some had wings. Others glowed with their own light. They all seemed very interested in the human ship. "Everyone ready?" Jake asked his team. "Ready, Captain," they all said. Jake opened the airlock and stepped onto Kepler Station. He was about to meet aliens for the first time in human history. He hoped he wouldn't mess it up. The airlock door opened, and Jake Morrison stepped onto Kepler Station. The first thing he noticed was that he had to duck his head. The ceiling was too low for humans. Behind him came Lisa, Alex, Pete, Karen, and Tony. They all had to bend down to fit through the doorway. Their heavy boots made loud clang 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 sounds on the station floor. The aliens waiting for them jumped back in surprise. Ambassador HFY was there, but she looked much smaller in person. Next to Jake, who was 6 feet tall, she barely reached his chest. Her silver eyes went wide when she saw him. "Welcome, humans," she said in her musical voice. But she sounded nervous now. "You are larger than we expected." Jake tried to smile in a friendly way. "Thank you for inviting us, Ambassador. We're honored to be here." When Jake spoke, his voice was deep and loud compared to the aliens' soft voices. A small alien with insect-like wings actually flew backward in fear. "I am sorry," HFY said. "We did not build the station for beings of your size. Please, follow me. We will take you to the meeting room." As the humans walked through the station, their footsteps echoed loudly. The alien walls seemed to be made of some kind of crystal that glowed softly. Everything was beautiful and delicate. Jake was afraid they might break something just by walking. Other aliens stopped to stare at the humans. Some had fur like cats, but they walked on 2 legs. Others looked like living plants with eyes. One group looked like they were made of colored gas floating in the air. All of them stepped back when the humans passed. Some whispered to each other in languages that sounded like music or wind chimes. Lisa tried to be friendly. She waved at a group of small, rabbit-like aliens. They all ran away. "I don't think they like us," Pete whispered. "Just keep walking," Jake said quietly. The meeting room was huge and beautiful. The ceiling was a dome that showed the stars outside. Alien delegates sat on floating cushions around a circular table. When the humans walked in, several aliens gasped. "Friends," HFY announced, "these are the humans from Earth." The humans tried to sit on the floating cushions, but they were too small and too weak to hold human weight. Pete's cushion broke with a soft popping sound, and he fell to the floor. "Oh no!" cried a mushroom-like alien. "Are you hurt? Do you need medical help?" "I'm fine," Pete said, getting up. "Just heavy, I guess." The aliens brought larger, stronger seats for the humans. But even sitting down, the humans were taller than most of the standing aliens. A green alien with 3 eyes spoke up. "I am KLK Nest of the Chithari people. We welcome you, but we must ask, are your people always so large?" "This is normal for us," Jake said. "We range from about 5 feet to 7 feet tall." The aliens looked shocked. 5 feet was huge to many of them. "And your ships," said another alien that looked like floating gas, "they are very solid, very thick. Why do you build them so strong?" Tony, the security chief, answered without thinking. "Space is dangerous. Asteroids, pirates, enemy weapons. You need thick armor to survive." The room went very quiet. The word weapons seemed to scare the aliens. "Weapons?" HFY asked. "You fight wars in space?" Jake realized they were making a mistake. "Sometimes we have to defend ourselves. But we prefer peace." "You have experience with war?" asked KLK Nest. "Well, yes," Jake said. "Humans have had wars throughout our history. But we're trying to be more peaceful now." This made things worse. The aliens began whispering to each other in worried voices. Dr. Walsh tried to help. "What Captain Morrison means is that we've learned from our mistakes. We want to be friends with everyone now." "But you still know how to fight?" asked the gas alien. "Everyone knows how to fight," Tony said. "It's basic survival." The aliens looked horrified. To them, fighting was not basic at all. Then came time for food. The aliens brought out their feast, glowing liquids, crystal fruits, and plates of things that looked like grass. Lisa looked at the food politely. "This looks interesting. But humans need different food. We eat meat and plants and cooked food." "Meat?" asked a flower-like alien. "You mean other living things?" "Yes," Karen said. "We're omnivores. We eat both plants and animals." Several aliens made disgusted sounds. Some covered their mouths. "You kill other creatures for food?" HFY asked, sounding sick. "Well, yes," Jake said. "That's how we survive." "Don't you eat other living things?" "We eat only light and minerals and water," said KLK Nest. "The idea of killing to eat is horrible." The humans looked at each other. This was not going well. Alex tried to explain. "On our world, this is natural. All animals eat other living things. It's part of the life cycle." "Your world must be a terrible place," whispered a small, furry alien. Pete, trying to be helpful, stood up to look around the room. "This is a nice station," he said. "But you might want to add some support beams here and here." He pointed to parts of the ceiling. "And the walls are a bit thin. One good impact could breach them." The aliens stared at him in fear. "Why would there be impacts?" asked the gas alien. "Asteroids, weapons fire, accidents," Pete said. "You always need to plan for emergencies." "Weapons fire," several aliens said at once. Tony nodded. "Basic ship design. Thick armor, strong shields, escape pods, medical bays for wounded." "You plan for being wounded in battle?" KLK Nest asked. "Of course," Tony said. "You always plan for the worst case." The worst case to these aliens was a small disagreement. The worst case to humans was total war. The meeting broke for lunch, but the humans had to eat their own food from their ship. As they walked back through the station, they could hear the aliens talking in worried voices. "Did you hear them talk about weapons? They eat other living things. They're so big and loud. They plan for war." Back on the Liberty, the human team sat around their table. "That didn't go well," Jake said. "They're afraid of us," Lisa said. We scare them just by being normal humans. Maybe we should leave, Karen suggested. We're making them uncomfortable. No, Alex said. This is important. We just need to find a way to show them we're not dangerous. But we are dangerous, Tony pointed out. That's the problem. We're built to survive on a death world. To them, we probably look like monsters. Jake looked out at the alien ships floating peacefully around the station. Tomorrow we try again. But we need to be more careful about what we say. Outside their ship, aliens were gathering in groups, talking in worried voices about the scary humans who had come to their peaceful meeting. The second day of meetings started badly. When the humans entered the meeting room, half the aliens had moved their seats farther away. Some had even brought what looked like personal shields, thin barriers of light that floated in front of them. Ambassador Zuexthala tried to smile, but her silver eyes showed fear. Good morning, humans. We hope you slept well. Very well, thank you, Jake said, trying to speak more quietly than yesterday. But even his quiet voice seemed loud in the crystal room. Today we wish to discuss our peace agreement, said Nest, the insect-like alien. It is very simple. We all promise not to fight each other. We share trade and knowledge. We help each other when needed. Jake nodded. That sounds good to us. But what about protection from threats? Threats? Asked the gas alien, whose name was Whisper of Stars. What threats? Pirates, hostile aliens, natural disasters, Jake said. When you have a trade agreement, you need to protect your trade routes. The aliens looked confused. What are pirates? Asked a small, furry alien. Tony leaned forward. People who attack trade ships to steal cargo. They're a big problem in our part of space. The room went very quiet. Several aliens' glowing skin grew dim with fear. People attack other people? Zuexthala asked. For money? Unfortunately, yes, Lisa said. Not all species are as peaceful as you. Humans have to deal with the Krexery raiders, the Skull Fleet pirates, and several others. You fight these raiders? Nest asked. We have to, Jake said. Last month we had 3 small battles with Krexery ships. Nothing major, only lost 2 ships and maybe 50 people. The aliens gasped. To them, 50 deaths was a huge tragedy. To humans, it was a small skirmish. Pete tried to help. Don't worry. Human ships are very good at fighting pirates. We could help protect your trade ships too. This made things much worse. The idea of humans protecting them sounded like humans controlling them. Alex decided to try a different approach. Let me tell you about human society. We're very adaptable. Humans can live almost anywhere. He showed them pictures on his tablet. This is a human colony on a desert world. The temperature reaches 60 degrees Celsius in the day and -40 at night. This colony has 3 million people. The aliens stared in horror. Most of them could only live in very specific conditions. And this, Alex continued, is New Bergen, built on an ice world. The atmosphere is toxic to humans, so they live in underground cities. Population, 12 million. A plant-like alien made a wilting motion. How do you survive in such terrible places? Humans are very good at adapting, Lisa said proudly. We can change our behavior, our technology, even our bodies over time to fit new worlds. To the aliens, this sounded like an invasive species that could spread anywhere. How many worlds do humans control? Asked Whisper of Stars. We have colonies on 47 worlds, Jake said. And we're growing fast. We might have 100 colonies in the next 50 years. The aliens whispered to each other in panic. Most of their species lived on only one world and had been there for thousands of years. And your population? Zuexthala asked. About 15 billion on Earth, and maybe 5 billion in the colonies, Karen said. Could be 30 billion total in another generation or 2. The room was silent except for the sound of several aliens breathing very fast. Tony tried to make them feel better. Don't worry. Military service is voluntary for humans. Most people choose to be farmers, teachers, doctors, engineers. Only about 2% of our population is in the military. But this made things worse. The idea that humans had so many people that only 2% could form a massive army terrified the aliens. 2% of 20 billion people. KLK Nest said quietly, that is 400 million soldiers. Well, not all soldiers, Tony said. That includes support staff, engineers, medical people. But how many actual fighters? Asked Zuexthala. Tony thought about it. Maybe 100 million active combat troops. Plus reserves. Several aliens made choking sounds. The entire population of many alien species was smaller than the human military. Pete, still trying to be helpful, said, and our military technology is pretty advanced. We've learned a lot from fighting the Krexery. Our new ships can take out pirate fleets 10 times their size. You have gotten better at war? Asked a bird-like alien. Much better, Tony said with pride. Human military doctrine is based on overwhelming force applied quickly. End fights fast to save lives on both sides. The aliens heard this as, humans are efficient killers who end fights by destroying everything. Alex tried to change the subject. But humans also have art, music, literature. We're not just warriors. He showed them a picture of human children playing in a park. Human families are very close. We take care of our young for many years. How long do human young stay with their families? Asked KLK Nest. Usually 18 to 20 years, Alex said. The aliens gasped again. Most of their species were independent within a few months or years of birth. You keep your young for 20 years, Zuexthala said, teaching them to be like you. Yes, Lisa said happily. We teach them everything we know. How to survive, how to work, how to fight if needed. You teach children to fight? Several aliens asked at once. Basic self-defense, yes, Tony said. Every human should know how to protect themselves and their families. The meeting took another break. The humans went back to their ship while the aliens held emergency discussions. On the Liberty, the human team was getting frustrated. Everything we say makes them more scared, Jake said. It's not what we're saying, Alex realized. It's what we are. We're apex predators from a death world. To them, we're the most dangerous thing they've ever seen. But we're trying to be peaceful, Lisa said. That's what makes us even scarier, Alex said. We're predators who are choosing not to hunt. They don't understand that. They just know we could hunt them if we wanted to. Pete looked out at the alien ships. So what do we do? Pretend we're not human? No, Jake said. We tell them the truth. All of it. Maybe if they understand why we're the way we are, they won't be so afraid. Or, Tony said darkly, they'll be even more afraid. Outside their ship, the aliens were having the same conversation. But their version was much more frightening. They have armies bigger than our entire civilizations, one alien said. They live on worlds that would kill us in minutes, said another. They eat living creatures and teach their children to fight. What if they decide they want our worlds? What if this peace meeting is just a way to study us? What if we're already at war and don't know it? Ambassador Zuexthala listened to all the fears and worries. She looked at the human ship floating outside, dark, strong, and full of creatures that could destroy everything the aliens had built. Tomorrow, she said, we must decide. Do we welcome these humans as friends? Or do we ask them to leave and never come back? The fate of human-alien relations hung in the balance. Jake Morrison couldn't sleep. He walked through the halls of his ship, thinking about the alien meeting. Tomorrow would decide everything. Would humans join the galactic community, or would they be sent away as too dangerous? He stopped at the observation window and looked out at Kepler Station. It was beautiful in the starlight, but he could see something that worried him. Many of the alien ships were moving away from the station. Some had already left. Can't sleep either? Asked a voice behind him. Jake turned to see Alex Turner walking up with a cup of coffee. I keep thinking about what went wrong, Jake said. We tried to be friendly. We tried to be peaceful. But everything we said made them more afraid. I've been thinking about that too, Alex said. I think I know what the problem is. What? Alex pointed out the window. Look at their ships. Beautiful, delicate, made for art and comfort. Now look at our ship. Gray, thick, built like a tank. That tells a story. Jake nodded. We look like warriors. More than that, Alex said. We look like warriors who are so good at war that we can afford to make it look easy. Lisa Rodriguez joined them at the window. I heard you talking. I couldn't sleep either. I keep thinking about something ZYX Thala said. She asked if we teach children to fight. When I said yes, she looked so sad. Because to her, children should be safe, Alex said. The idea that we have to teach our kids to fight means we live in a world where children are in danger. Karen Walsh came down the hall with Pete Collins and Tony Martinez. The whole senior team was awake. We need to try a different approach tomorrow, Jake said. Like what? Pete asked. We can't pretend we're not human. No, Alex said slowly. But we can explain why we're human. Why we are the way we are. He turned to face the others. These aliens evolved on safe worlds. Paradise worlds. They never had predators, never had wars, never had to fight for survival. They can't understand us because they never needed to be like us. So we tell them about Earth? Lisa asked. We tell them about everything, Alex said. The ice ages, the predators, the diseases, the disasters. We tell them why humans had to become strong to survive. Tony frowned. That might make them more afraid, not less. Or, Karen said, it might help them understand that we're not dangerous by choice. We're dangerous because we had to be. Jake thought about it. It's worth trying. But we need to be very careful how we say it. The next morning, the meeting room was half empty. Many aliens had left during the night. Those who remained sat far from the human seats. Some had brought guards, small floating robots that glowed with defensive energy. Ambassador ZYX Thala looked tired. Humans, she said, we have talked all night about your presence here. Many of our people are afraid. We know, Jake said softly. And we understand why. May we explain something to you? ZYX Thala nodded. Jake stood up slowly, trying not to make sudden movements. You are afraid of us because we are different. Because we are big and loud and strong. Because we know how to fight. You are right to notice these things. But you are wrong about why we are this way. He activated his tablet and showed a picture of Earth. This is our world. It looks beautiful, but it is very dangerous. The picture showed mountains, oceans, forests, and cities. To the aliens, it looked like a paradise. We had ice ages that lasted thousands of years, Jake continued. Most of our world was covered in ice. Humans had to learn to survive in the cold or die. He showed pictures of mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant bears. These animals lived on our world with early humans. They were bigger than us, stronger than us, faster than us. We survived by being smarter and working together. The aliens leaned forward, interested despite their fear. Lisa took over. Our world has diseases that kill millions. Earthquakes that destroy cities. Storms that can level forests. Humans learned to be tough because our world taught us to be tough. But that was long ago, said Kale Kinest. Why are you still so warrior-like? Alex answered. Because we learned that peace comes from strength. When we are strong enough to defend ourselves, we don't have to fight. When we are strong enough to protect others, they don't have to be afraid. Pete showed pictures of human cities. We build thick walls not because we want to attack others, but because we want to protect our families. We have strong ships not to conquer space, but to keep our people safe while we explore. Tony stood up carefully. You asked about our military. Yes, we have soldiers. But do you know what most human soldiers do? They rescue people from disasters. They deliver food to hungry colonies. They protect trade ships from pirates. They fight so that peaceful people don't have to. Karen added, and our population grows because we learned that big families survive better than small ones. When disease or disaster strikes, larger groups have a better chance. Jake walked to the center of the room. All the aliens watched him nervously. I know we frighten you, he said. We are big and loud. We know how to fight. We come from a dangerous world. But let me ask you something." He paused and looked at each alien delegate. "If someone threatened your people, what would you do?" "We would negotiate," HFY said uncertainly. "What if they didn't want to negotiate? What if they just wanted to hurt your people?" The aliens looked at each other. They had no answer. "That is why humans exist," Jake said simply. "We are the people who stand up to those who won't negotiate. We are the people who fight so that you don't have to." Whisper of Stars, the gas alien, spoke up. "But what if you decide to hurt us?" Jake smiled sadly. "Do you know what humans call people who hurt innocent beings? We call them monsters. And do you know what humans do to monsters?" The aliens waited. "We stop them," Jake said. "Even if the monsters are other humans." Lisa stood up beside Jake. "Humans don't just protect other humans. We protect anything we care about. We have laws to protect animals. We have people whose job is to save endangered plants. We cry when pets die, even though they're not human." "On Earth," Pete said, "humans have died fighting to protect whales, tigers, forests, even individual trees that were very old. We can't help ourselves. When we care about something, we protect it." Alex nodded. "It's called pack bonding. Humans will adopt almost anything as family and then defend it with our lives." Jake looked directly at Ambassador HFY. "If we became friends, if we joined your council, do you know what would happen?" She shook her head. "We would consider you family," Jake said. "And humans protect their family above everything else. Anyone who wanted to hurt you would have to go through us first." The room was very quiet. The aliens looked at each other, then back at the humans. Finally, KLK Nest spoke. "You are saying you would protect us?" "Of course," Tony said. "That's what allies do." "Even though we are not human?" asked a small, furry alien. "Especially because you are not human," Lisa said. "You are peaceful and kind and beautiful. The galaxy needs people like you. And sometimes, it needs people like us to make sure people like you stay safe." Ambassador HFY stood up slowly. Her silver eyes were bright with what might have been tears. "We have been afraid of the wrong thing," she said. "We were afraid you were monsters who wanted to hurt us. But you are guardians who want to protect us." She walked over to Jake, her steps uncertain. She was so small compared to him. But she reached out her hand. "On behalf of the Galactic Harmony Council," she said, "we would be honored to call humans our friends." Jake very gently shook her hand. Her fingers were tiny in his, but he was careful not to squeeze. "The honor is ours," he said. Around the room, other aliens began to approach the humans. They were still nervous, but no longer afraid. The peace meeting continued for 3 more days. In the end, humanity was not just invited to join the council, they were asked to serve as the council's defense force. The other species would handle trade, science, and diplomacy. Humans would handle security. As the Liberty prepared to leave Kepler Station, Jake looked out at the alien ships. They were no longer keeping their distance. Several had moved closer, their crews wanting to see the human ship up close. "You know what's funny?" Pete said, joining Jake at the observation window. "What?" "We came here trying to prove we weren't dangerous. Instead, we proved that we're exactly as dangerous as they thought, and that's exactly what they needed." Jake smiled. Sometimes being the monster is the only way to fight the real monsters. Outside, Ambassador HFY's ship moved into formation with the Liberty. For the first time in galactic history, the peaceful species had protectors. And for the first time in human history, Earth's children had a family that stretched across the stars.